Somebody's got to say it.
We'll both say it today.
This is Doc Griggs here with the free agents. I'm trying to encourage you to get out, get checked, get fit, get moving. There's only one way to do it. The only way we know how in New Orleans. We hot, we skip, and we like to do something. It doesn't matter what you do. I just want you to move. I think you know how to do that. In New Orleans, we move really well. We hot.
That always gets me going. Hey, how y'all doing?
What's happening?
We are here, and it's been a while since we had Get Check It, Pick It Moving right here with Doc Griggs on blackdoctor.org. I am Ellis Dean, the Director of Digital Programming at blackdoctor.org, and today is Tuesday, June 13th, and that means that this Sunday will be the third Sunday in June, also known as Father's Day. Father's Day. And for all the dads out there that have gotten ties, that have gotten that beautifully crafted, drawn card that gets stuck to the refrigerator with a pair of socks to get the tie
And the socks.
and the socks.
And the socks.
And that Pierre Cardin cologne.
Yes. Or Brute by Fabergé.
Oh, Brute by Fabergé. You always have to say by Fabergé after you say Brute. This is for all those dads. And so we said when we're thinking about this, we're talking about coming back on the show and Father's Day week, we say, okay, we're going to talk about a show because this show is really dedicated to men and is dedicated to men who about our health, about really getting back into that role of manhood and all of that encompasses it. And so fatherhood, being a father, is not always something that every man is a father, but if you are one, this is part of that process. And so we said, what do men really want for Father's Day? So that's the question that I posed. So we're going to talk about that tonight. We might ruffle a little feathers, so you're going to be okay. But my mom always told you, your best friends are the one to tell you the truth. So we're going to be your best friend today. Okay. Yeah. Doc, what's going on?
Not much, man. This is when I tell you this is a great topic, I can think back to growing up with my grandfather, my mom's dad. And I can remember, I don't know whether I gave it to him for Father's Day or for Christmas, but I can remember being re-gifted the same group of ugly socks that I thought were so nice that he would wear, that he just gave back to me. Couple years later, so he sat on them for a while and gave them back to me at Christmas.
I guess he figured the statute of limitations had or regifting had exhausted, so he just write it back to you.
Yeah, that boy ain't gonna remember. He ain't gonna remember.
So a couple of things I want y'all to do is, number one, let us know where you're watching from. We'd like to know where people are watching us from all over the world. So please drop that in the comment section. Number two, if you know somebody that needs this information, make sure you tag them or share this on your page. We'd like to get this out to as many people as possible, and we can't do that without you. So tag a friend and share it on your page. And then number three, if you have any questions or if you have any comments about what we're going to be discussing tonight, please drop those in the comments as well, because we like to hear from you. So, Doc, first thing I did was, you know how we like to do. We like to teach while we learn, and we like to learn while we teach. And so I went and really, because I didn't know when Father's Day was founded, right? So I looked it up. I said, okay, look, we have opportunity. I don't have to worry about that bookshelf full of encyclopedias that your parents bought back in the day, then I don't have to worry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Encyclopedia Britannica.
I could go
The
to a little.
world, yeah.
I could go to a little device and find out about Father's Day, and so it was actually founded by a woman. Her name
Okay.
is Sonora Smart Dodd in the early 1900s, in 1909. And she was at her church, and they were doing a Mother's Day celebration. And her father, she wanted to celebrate her father, so she went to the pastors there at her church and decided to, hey, let's have a celebration for the dads. She initially wanted to do it on her father's birthday, which was June 5th.
Nice.
But the pastors told her they didn't have enough time to write the sermons and have the whole celebration. So they all came and decided that it would be on the third Sunday in June. And that's how we got it to be the third Sunday. And it actually started growing there in the early 1900s. And then it fizzled because she was the engine behind it at first in the church. Yep. She'd even gotten a president. I think the president at the time had come and spoke about it, but Congress wouldn't get behind it. And so in terms of making it an official celebration, and of course they said, one, they felt like they were copying mothers, and then two, they felt like it was going to be commercial. And so they said, no, we're not getting behind it. Of course, Congress, they don't make decisions, right? They just up there.
Everything's commercial now, right?
Taking checks, right? Yeah. So fast forward 1920, in the 20s, it started fading because she, being the engine behind it, had gone off to art school in Chicago and wasn't really pushing as hard as she was initially. And so therefore it kind of faded there in the 20s, and then it picked back steam when she returned to Washington and got behind it. And there was a couple of presidents, I think, let me see here. Okay, so Calvin Coolidge in 1924 recommended that the day be observed by the nation, but stopped short of issuing a national proclamation because he didn't want to fight Congress. 2 earlier attempts to formally recognize the holiday had been defeated in Congress. That's why he didn't want to do it. In 1966, so it went all the way to 1966, when Lyndon B. Johnson issued the first presidential proclamation honoring fathers, designating the third Sunday in June as Father's Day. 6 years later, so that was 1966. It took another 6 years later, the day was made a permanent national holiday when President Richard Nixon signed it into law in 1972. So officially, it's 51 years old. On Sunday, it'll be 51 years officially for Father's Day, but it was started by a woman in 1909. So that's the history of Father's Day. So when you hear that, Doc, what are you thinking?
So what I think about, so that's the history that's in the books. I'm gonna give you the history from the street and the community. You say it went away for a while. I think what had happened was when they started Father's Day and said, well, do y'all want to do it? They said, great, yes. Okay, cool. I need y'all to cut the grass in the back and chop down those trees. And then I need you to go to the store, and I need y'all to barbecue on the grill all day when we're honoring y'all for Father's Day. That steak y'all want, I want y'all to cook it and be on the grill all day, and then make sure that everything gets cleaned up and it's nice afterwards, like nothing happened, so we can honor y'all. Yay! So I think that was a pushback in Congress. I think it was a pushback in the community. I don't think it had anything to do with commercialization. I just think it came with possibly an oxymoronic expectations once they brought it out there, because that sentiment permeates here over 100 years later.
It does, and in the story, well, what I found to be interesting, and maybe this has something to do with some of the gifts that we get, is the way she got when she was really pushing for Father's Day, the way she got kind of growing support was she elicited the help of trade groups that would benefit, and this is where the commercialization comes from. She elicited the help of trade groups that would benefit most from the holidays. For example, the manufacturers of ties, tobacco pipes, and any traditional present to fathers. And so that's why we get ties. And so it was really marketed And the industry that got behind it was those industries that made men's clothing wear and trades.
So the flip side of that as well. I mean, I feel kind of like we're Skip and Shannon, even though he left, talking this way, is that, you know, Father's Day turns into your birthday. It turns into Christmas. Everyone says, "What do you buy the man who has everything?" Nothing. What do? Leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Just let him do whatever he wants to do and leave him alone. Most of the time, he'll probably just want to spend some time with you laughing and not being bothered.
Yes. So when we're saying what do fathers really want, so that's what this show is about. What do fathers really want for Father's Day? Number one I'm hearing is just leave him alone.
Nothing.
He wants a day without being asked to do something.
Yeah.
Whether it's go put gas in the car, cut the grass, you know.
You know, the other thing, so I do have, this is obviously, we've been doing field research on this for the past, 30 years? I mean, listen to our friends and being fathers ourselves.
Yes.
But, you know, the most common thing that I've heard is time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend time with my family. I'd love to see them and I'd love to relax. But then other than that, if I just want to sit and watch TV and do nothing, I want to do that. If I want to go play golf, if I want to go with the family to the movies, but just a day to make it be a big boy.
Right.
Put on your big boy hat. You're a real. I made my own decision. Like
Right.
really be able to do something to truly enjoy it with without expectation, just for a minute. Just for a minute.
Yes. So I'm going to put that on the screen as tip one. Enjoy the day without expectation. That is a great thing. And can I just add an addendum to that?
Or judgment. Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes without conversation. Because I just don't want to talk.
People don't believe that when you do what you and I do for a living, people think we want to talk all the time. Most of the time, we just want to be quiet.
Exactly. And just let the TV do the talking, whatever is the radio. It's fine.
Without judgment or expect. If I want to go in my man cave and turn the music up and listen to old school 90s rap and do all of this by myself, just let me do it.
So that's a great gift right there. That's a gift of just you have to understand, and I promise you, if you talk to, it may not be your spouse, it may not be your partner, but I promise you, if you just talk to a man and ask him a general thing, you say, "Hey, look, would you just want to enjoy the day without expectation or judgment?" They will say that would be a great day.
Wow, what do you mean? That just meant whatever it is that you wanted, you just do it, and then again, and not hurt anyone's feelings or disappoint anyone in doing so, and let that be genuine, right? You just. Yeah. Ellis is in town. I want to go over there and play Ellis, just me and him, and some dominoes.
We're going to play dominoes. We're going to listen to some Biggie and some Tupac.
Yeah, just sit and talk. And if you want to plan something because you want something for it, hey, man, we got to go back to the house at 6 because you know they're doing this. Just that moment of just silence. And I'll say this, hugs and thank yous and those kisses are better than any tie or sock or any special you can see on Amazon. Just time. I will say this, especially considering, we've done the dad shows, and I have to bring it up. We lost, unfortunately, for those that don't know, we did the show with my dad and his brothers, and it's amazing. And this time last year, I didn't even know about my father. I got the best, most awesome son gift for Father's Day and birthday gift and Christmas gift for 52 years by meeting my dad. And then we had them on the air. He had his older brother, my Uncle Whistle, his younger brother, Uncle Standy on. Well, my dad was down here for my daughter's graduation, and in the midst of the graduation the same day, Uncle Whistle, who I was sitting in the bottom right corner with the glasses, both of us bald-headed with glasses, talking and smiling. Uncle Whistle had a heart attack. The unfortunate thing is that my sister, who had come in town for the graduation, we went to lunch and she wasn't feeling well. So we said we were going to his house and like, oh, we'll just go over there tomorrow. And tomorrow never came.
Yeah.
So what I will say is that for Father's Day, as a gift to this old bald-headed Doc over here, Doc Griggs, reach out to even if you have a problem with your dad, if you're estranged from your dad, just go ahead and reach out and make that connection. I can't speak from my dad's side, but I can only imagine that it would be reciprocated. That gift of just being thought about, being given grace for being who you are, Dad, but thank you for making me, and spending time. That connection is something that you'll cherish. It wasn't my father, but it was the closest thing to my father that lived in New Orleans because my pops lives in Richmond. So I spent a lot of time with Uncle Whistle, and I would not trade those memories, those laughs. I mean, even the stuff that we talked about on the show, I wouldn't trade that for the world. So rather than just see, Father's Day as a day where I'm going to do something special for Dad, we'll make it a day that you reach out and really reach out to Dad and let him know that you love him, but then make every day Father's Day. It makes it easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Off my soapbox, off my sentimental soapbox.
No. I hesitated in bringing it up because I know it's a family thing, and so I don't.
No, man. You part of our family, man. Pops just said, "Hey, man, how's Ellis doing? Ellis doing good. He's doing good."
It's all good, yeah. So I would just say, again, prayers to you and your family. I had the privilege and honor of meeting him just at one time. And I'm glad I did because he was just fantastic. He was fantastic offline. He was fantastic on the show. And I'm just sad we can't have him back on because he would have been he was a great guest, and I'm sure there would have been other topics that he could have.
Yeah, man. Salute to Uncle Whistle. He was an amazing dad. He's still with us now. I was on pins and needles because I was hoping, man, please don't cuss, Uncle Whistle. Don't get us in trouble. We go, hey.
We're on the internet, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, but an amazing dad. So I said that to say one of the most important things that you can give is time. That's another gift. The other thing, I tell you what really stands out is old school, a handwritten letter or a heartfelt poem. Like, we make fun of the ties and the socks, but every picture my daughter has ever drawn, every card she's ever written on, the whole night, I have all of that. You pay attention to that because it's heartfelt. Now, you don't need to sit around and talk to us about it afterwards. That ain't necessarily our thing. All right, thank you, and let us deal with that. But just it's time, and to know that everyone just wants to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. And so we're really trying.
How good would you feel if your son said, "Hey, pops, let's go throw the football in the backyard"? And you, hey, what? you're grown, so how would you feel?
I would love it. I would love it. I think it would be something that those are the things that and I see those pictures, right? So you go through it, especially now with phones and devices and all these things that store photos. It's not like a big box like we had back in the day where you had all these Polaroids that had faded, or even if you were
I'm shaking it.
If you're fancy enough to have a Kodak camera, you still got to go through all those pictures one by one. Now they're on your phone and you get reminders, on this day and on this day. And you see all of the pictures and the things and the times that you spent with your children, and you go, wow, that was a great time, right? So those are the memories that fathers cherish, more than anything. And I think when and we're making jokes about the socks and the ties, but I think those things tend to really soil Father's Day a little bit, because you're like, this is the thought. Like, this is what you thought about me as a sock.
Yeah, don't buy this. Yeah, I mean, if your dad has a tight sock game, leave it alone. If he doesn't have a tight sock game, leave it alone. Exactly. He wants you. He wants to spend time with you.
Yes, or not, or no time at all.
Yeah,
or just give him a day, right? So it could be one of those two things, and so really just have to recognize. I think what's really somebody saying there's no sound.
No sound.
Wow, hold up.
I can hear you.
Yeah, Okay, so anybody else? So Elaine's saying there's no sound, so that could be Elaine's computer. Can anybody else hear us? Because if you're
Can y'all
watching,
hear us? Put it in the chat, please.
yes, because that would be
So for Father's Day, we want some speakers.
definitely want some speakers. I would do a quick test here and see if we are being heard. But yeah, I think ultimately, I'm a little nervous now until we get this pulled up. Thank you. All right. Hey, come on, Facebook. God damn. I don't need all that. Okay. We should be. Okay. No, it's got sound.
You got sound?
Yeah, it's got sound. Okay, so Elaine, check your volume. Thank you for at least letting us know and making us check. But I think Elaine, just go ahead and check your volume on your computer because I'm here and I just pulled it up.
So I got a question for you. Also, Father's Day question.
Mm-hmm.
How many Father's Days did it take you to not wish somebody would give you some hair? Like I used to wish the days that I could fade and put the do-rag on, and then I've come to accept that. No, I'm good without hair. I don't want
It took a while. I'm not gonna lie, because I've like as they say in church, I fought the good fight.
Fought the good fight
For about 10 years in my 30s, right? I started thinning in my 30s, and I see pictures now, and I was like, "Wow, was I even trying to?"
What was I thinking?
In my mind, it looked thicker, and it looked like it was more.
Did you ever look in the mirror and be like, I look at those pictures, and be like, I just had no friends. They
no, none.
Not been my friends.
It wasn't until and it was by accident that I shaved it off. It was like I went to the barber, like I was still going to a barber, and I just told him to cut it low, and he got the straight razor out, and by then it was he shaved the whole thing, and I was like, oh, I had a clutch my pearls moment kind of situation. Oh my God, oh my hair is gone, and nobody noticed. Like they were like, oh yeah, you look great. And I was like, oh, you don't notice anything different? They were like, no, you look great. Like, you need to. Everybody's like, yeah, you need to rock that.
no, you look great. What? Yeah. The matter of fact, don't grow hair again. Don't. What? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like really, and and oh yeah, because I tried all of it. I tried the wives' tale. I mean, I had coconut oil.
Yeah.
I did the medication finasteride.
The little shake stuff. I did that.
I did. Oh man, I mean, it was traumatic for me, and now the only thing I miss is the camaraderie at the barbershop. But that is even moving away because a lot of barbers are going to solo spots anyway, so you don't have that same open air feel. I think COVID kind of killed the traditional barbershop in many places. In some ways they still are, but I do miss that, and I do miss the confidence that comes after you get a good fresh fade.
What?
And you walk out
the line just right, and what? And if you got the waves going, they just fade down, man.
There's no substitute for that confidence. When you walk out of that barbershop, you're like, I will go Mac, Holly Berry, Janet Jackson.
Yep. Look, every window you walk by on the way to the car, you like.
Yes, back to back, right? I will get at them because the confidence
in the other side.
You catch yourself, you walk by a car, you look at the window, you point out. I mean, yeah. Fresh fade. I remember, in college, we get that fresh cut, and we would walk. Because the boys' dorms and the girls' dorm are opposite the sides of the campus. So we walked to the barbershop, and my man Clyde, he gave you a fresh fade. Clyde had the best blend on the fade. And so you get that fresh fade, and he's like, man, let's walk on over to the girls' side of the campus. Because you didn't want to waste that. You didn't want to waste that. Because there's nothing like the first day of a haircut, fresh out the chair. Because anything after you wash it, you slip on it, you can't get it. It's never
a spray.
Yes. and he wiped the back of that neck with that
Yeah, pull the top. Yeah.
It was golden. So it was definitely.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're having a Father's Day. We are having a real Father's moment here.
Yeah. So and now like my son has got all his hair, and it's like I think he's mocking me. Like he's like, okay,
Right. All right, it's okay.
Okay,
It's coming.
Just live. He'll probably keep it. Like,
just keep living. Right. He'll keep it all his.
Yeah, because in a sad twist of irony, I got the thinning hair from my mother's side.
Well, so that's what it comes. The gene it's a maternal lineage that you get. So my grandfather, my maternal grandfather was, he had the cowlicks, and I got him too.
Yeah, because my dad still has full head of hair.
And he just looked like, man.
And I mean, it's just great, and he's got a full head of hair. Still has good haircuts at 75 plus. Getting haircuts, and I'm just like, and I stopped. Now I don't miss what they're charging for haircuts nowadays. I don't miss
that, and I also enjoy. Dude, I could have looked like Methuselah.
Yes.
10 minutes ago. If I go in the bathroom, it's a new day. I enjoy being able to just do that, but I do, I do like another person's eye making it. It seems like when someone else does it, it looks better.
It does. And I do my best, but there's something about having somebody else's eye on it. We've derailed the program, but look, we have those moments.
We've not derailed the program. We were talking about Father's Day and what dads really want. We want to be able to reminisce on back when we had hair. See, girl, look at that picture. Boy, look at I'm on a good foot back then.
Which is tip number 3. So we've got tip 1 is, and we put them up there. We talk about enjoy the day without expectation or judgment. So that means if I leave and I want to go sit at a sports bar and watch a baseball game or watch whatever's going on and have a couple of beers, don't ask me when I'm coming back. I don't need that expectation. I don't need none of that. I'm like, I'm going and I'll be back. Right? Just understand my full intention is coming back. And so I'll be back when I get back. I got the whole day.
Which will probably be sooner than you anticipate. But when I come back, leave me alone because I need to go to the bathroom and I'm going to bed.
Exactly. So it's like that. So that's tip 1. Tip 2 is just skip the socks and the tie, right? And especially nowadays, because like people rarely wear ties anymore. Anyway, it's typically open collar unless it's a formal event. So nobody really needs a tie anyway. Hugs, thanks, kisses. Or those things right there go a long way because as dads, in the traditional kind of sense of the parenting, the mother is the one that typically gets all of that stuff. They initiate the hugs and the kisses and things like that. But dads, we like them too. Ever so often, we may not be the most affectionate. Some dads aren't as affectionate, but every once in a while, we do like it, and we do appreciate the fact that you initiate it as a child, and so we do like that, and it does warm our heart. So that is something else. And I'm gonna say, and for my tip 3, how about this, Doc? Listen to our stories.
Oh man, and bad dad jokes. Yes. Hey, Ellis.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So there was a fish swimming in the river, and he bumped his head on the wall. What did he say?
I have no idea.
Damn.
See that right there? Listen to that joke, laugh at that joke, and just take it, right? Just take it. Just take it. Father's Day. Give us a 24-hour period, right? To tell dad jokes, to tell dad bod jokes.
Yeah.
To tell you about how great we were when we were younger.
The older we get, the better we were.
That was the funny thing is, that was the name, that was the title of my very first blog that I wrote. The older I get, the better I was. And I started telling the story about when I was playing football, and it was and after the formal football playing days, you start playing flag with your friends and things
Yeah.
like that. And
It's just not the same. The first time you tackle somebody full and they don't expect it without helmet pads on, they don't ask you to play anymore.
they don't want that anymore. But what was funny was when we were playing in these organized leagues and we were winning, we were doing really, really well. But every time I would come back, they would tell stories about my playing days. And every time it seemed like I was scoring more touchdowns and I was making more plays. Remember that game you scored 5 touchdowns? I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next year it might be 6, but okay.
Yeah.
And so you start having this moment. It was like, and I never corrected them because it made me look good. Like, why would I stop them? It's like, no, actually, I only scored 2 in that game, but that's fine. But they would tell a story, and they would tell it with such passion, and they would tell everyone, "Oh man, this man, he was the man. He was this and that, and he scored."
Remember that time Ellis raced the car and won?
I was Al Bundy. I was like, hey, I was a great. So so I would go on, and I had that moment. It's like the older I get, the better I was. And it was funny because I was like, and I was telling this to my son the other day. I said, it's interesting. I said, gamblers and ex-athletes are on opposite ends of the spectrum. I said, because gamblers, they can tell you all the wins. They forget the losses. They don't even think about the losses. They can tell you everyone, oh man, the time in 1975, man, I hit the season, I hit the big jackpot, I $50,000. They can tell you all the wins. Athletes can tell you every time they failed.
Oh man.
They can go through the list. They can tell you the day. They can smell it. They can feel it.
Time you got dunked on. The time somebody you got mossed. Somebody scored on you. Time you got knocked out. Got teased. You got that. Did you get that scar? Did you get it?
Oh man, I still got neck compression from it.
Right here.
I had the one on the bridge of the nose.
Yeah, right there.
Down. I remember that the time that the team scored the winning touchdown, and I was
on you
covering on the play.
Yes,
I was a step behind, and my hand was outreached, and the ball went past it, and he caught it in the end zone. And I
remember I got dunked on in a basketball game like that. I met the dude at the rim going up like this, and his momentum was coming this way, and he did this. And when I tell you I fell on the ground, I fell on the ground on my face. And what was crazy was when I turned over and stood up, the gym was empty. Like it was like something out of a movie. Everyone ran out of the gym. All my boys.
Yeah.
I was that dude that day. I got posterized.
And you replay that play. If I had done this differently, if I had done it, and the only thing I keep saying is like, why didn't I dive?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I keep asking myself to this day. Why didn't I dive for that ball?
And I'm sitting there thinking if I'd have kept going straight, because I had the ball, but I'm trying to be special. You're going to pin it. Man, he took his forearm. And I lit him up. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't remember how many points I had, but I was hot. So I lit him up after that. It didn't matter. Say, bro.
Yeah.
You know you got dunked on, huh?
Oh, it didn't matter because I think I scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns that game, and this was like on defense, and it was, but I was devastating, right? Because that touchdown cost us the game, and I was like,
so along with that, as y'all can see, we fall into this dad mode real easily on everything we talk about. You know what's cool is even if you've heard the stories, and when I would spend time with Uncle Whistle, anytime I'm with older guy, get him to tell you the story. I don't care if you heard the story a million times. Mm-hmm. It'll be funny every single time. It'll be fun. Sometimes there'll be a different wrinkle, but just spend time listening to them, because a lot of times I will tell you, as men, especially as Black men, you don't feel heard.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Yeah,
or appreciating, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like blah blah blah, and they just overtalk you and they move on to the next topic. Like just listen and you can learn a lot of cool stuff, and you will laugh all day if you allow yourself to.
And that's why I put that as tip 3, because you're right. Too often, our role as fathers is to do. We are task managers. Oh, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be, this dinner needs to get. Oh, this bill needs to get paid. We're tasked, but nobody really has.
Or you have the function at the house where you're either barbecuing or running to the store
Yes.
for your Father's Day?
Yes.
Can you go run to the store and get some more charcoal? Ellis, can you go flip? I know you. I need your steaks. Okay.
Yeah. We need a couple more bags of ice, and and all of that stuff. And so we want a day where you plan it, right? I don't want to be a part of my Father's Day plan. Like I don't want to plan it. You plan it and execute it, right? And just listen to the stories. And yes, they might be corny. They might be outdated, but I'm telling you, if you just listen to the stories, especially if your father is older, right?
Now,
because that's wisdom that's getting passed down, and you don't know how many more summers they got left. And so, listen to those stories.
Now, if you want to do something cool to surprise your father, you want to do something for him, invite your best uncle. Your dad's craziest friend, that's your uncle that you just love, that even if if he's in town, if you're able to let him surprise him and let them two run it and spend time together. My buddy's son, every time he comes in town, he watches the way that he's like, man, we were mid-conversation one day and he was like, Dad, we were like, hey, what's up? Y'all are us. Y'all are just like us, just two bad kids. No, we just like y'all with bad knees now. Enjoy them good knees. Just take
How about that?
Them good knees.
How about that?
But invite their favorite relative, be it a favorite brother,
Yeah.
cousin, best friend, just one. Don't overdo yourself, but just someone that you know your dad just gets a kick out of spending. And then how about this? Hang with him for a little bit and then leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
Let them take it from there.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Invite their friend, brother, whomever, and just one of them, and just sit there and listen to them for a while, and then you're right, and then just leave the room, and they're going to
finish the conversation.
The whole night.
Which one of you was better in dominoes? Like which one? Oh man, this dude don't never beat me. He ain't beat me in 50 years.
And they start swapping stories. You start swapping stories, and the lies get bigger.
Oh.
The lies get bigger. But those are the things, that human connection that we formulated that has lasted all that time really goes a long way to extending our lives.
Yeah, it does.
That communication. And so when we're talking about from a health perspective, those things are those life preserving, those life extending things, just understanding that connection that we have. Because longevity studies have shown that one of the most important factors in terms of they study people that lived 85 plus years, 100
blue
years.
Blue zones. You call them
Blue zones. The blue zones. Yep, you know exactly where I'm going with that.
Yeah. The
blue zones around the world. It's one of the top thing that they noticed was having some sort of human connection. Whether
So let me just add in a tidbit there. So it's not even just humans. I have a real world example. I have a 12-year-old puppy. His name is Poppy. He is a Morkie. In his mind, he is a Mastiff, a Great Dane, a Pit Bull, and a Doberman Pinscher all in one. But he's 12 years old. About 2 years ago, Poppy started slowing down. I noticed him going up the steps, started having hypoglycemic episodes. So I did what any well-intended and responsible pet owner and father would do. I bought him a puppy. Bought a puppy. Aggravated him to no end. When I tell you the second one, it's a Cocker Spaniel and a Yorkie, was the goodest, baddest puppy in the world. I mean, He was mischievous and bad. He hated him. Fast forward 2 years, they're like thick as thieves. They're running across the yard, sprinting up the steps, playing tug of war. It infused life into him because he had his own life now. He was connected in his own community with his little brother.
Right.
So It's the same thing, infusing life. Hey, what's going on? Making someone feel like a dad feel like he matters. You extend our lives because we feel like we have a role in our community. I mean, that's what all the studies have shown. When they looked at the blue zones, not only did they eat healthy foods, mostly a plant-based diet, a little bit of meat, they walked, but they all had responsibility. They were the village elders in a sense, right? If they were retired, they still volunteered and worked and had roles active responsibilities in their families. So that's a big one, Ellis. That was a good one.
Yeah, and I see it play out in my in-laws as well as with my parents. And so 3 of them are very active. My mother, very active, still part of her organization. She goes to lunch with her girlfriends. She's out there. You couldn't tell she was 75 plus. My in-laws, same way, 70 plus. They're in their bowling league. They volunteer at the local health clinic. They're always involved in church. Still spry, moving around, no problem. Dad, on the other hand, when he retired. And his only interaction was when he would go to the local restaurant to eat. That was his only human interaction. He would sit there for a while, but if you line them up, the one that has the least amount of interaction, the least amount of meaning, where to your point where like you feel like they've got something to add and they're continuing to add something to the community, to their world. He's probably the least of the 4 of them, and he looks the oldest by far. And just like, well, y'all the same age? Yes. But it's really about that connection and sense of belonging, and I have something left to give. And so therefore my body is going to respond. My cells respond differently because I have something to give. And so it's something really to pay attention to. But I know you got to run because you've got another day.
I just want to sum it up. I mean, we've been doing this long enough. So it's get fit, get moving. Check the oil of your dad to see if he feels like being bothered.
Yes.
Get fit. In other words, leave him alone. Find something that fits what he wants to do. And the action item I do have for all of you, I do have to add a little bit of health pearl to this because it makes a difference. If you can get your dad up to go take a walk with him and challenge him to get a half-hour walk for the next 30 days, and then potentially move it up to a month, you'll see changes in your dad, positive changes, just walking a half hour a day for the next month. That's it.
That's your challenge, right? So that's your Father's Day challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
Take a walk. We already gave you the tips. Listen. Have a day. Give them an easy day without judgment or expectations. Listen to those jokes.
Hugs and kisses.
Hugs and kisses.
Take that walk.
They go a long way. And then take the walk to keep his health right. And let him eat what he wants on Father's Day. But,
And invite that crazy uncle over that's his best friend. The one your mom hates when he gets together with him. Yeah.
Y'all don't know how to act. They don't know how to act when they get together.
And let them get as drunk as they want to get. Just keep them safe.
Look, if you go downstairs right now, ask my wife, it's like, yeah, when you and this dude get together, y'all don't know how to act because y'all got one brain between the 2 of y'all.
There you go.
And y'all leave it at the house where y'all go out. And it's such a blast. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I woke up today.
I need some water. I just need water.
But this is it. So we're back. We're coming back with more Get Check, Get Fit, Get Moving. I want to make sure that next June 20th, your very own Doc Griggs is going to be hosting one of the panels during our Men's Health Summit. So June is Men's Health Month. We've got a wonderful Men's Health Summit culminating with a great mental health interview with actor Terrence Howard. You're the first people to hear it out loud on this show. You got actor Terrence Howard here on blackdoctor.org as part of our Men's Health Summit. Doc Griggs is going to be hosting our panel on prostate health. And so we got a lot to talk about with Black men and prostate health. And so we're going to have some great information for you. We also got a panel on cardiovascular health and all the iterations, even cardiovascular health impacts your brain. And so we got a neurologist coming on and talk about.
You pointed at hair. I thought you were going to give me a hair.
This is over with, right? I know the fact that it only takes less than 5 minutes. I could do this and then jump in the shower. I could be ready
without a mirror.
With a full shave. Like when I go to a hotel, I'm like, oh, I ain't got no mirror. I don't need a mirror. I know all the spots, right? So it's definitely. So check us out. June 20th, Men's Health Summit. Doc Griggs will be there hosting the prostate cancer. So tell your dads, tell your friends, let them know prostate health is coming up next week. Thank you all for joining us. Great evening. Doc, go enjoy. Happy birthday to the missus.
Yes. And I will relay the message. Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
See y'all later.